What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's me and Nikki here.
And we're still in Colombia. We've been here for about 3 weeks.
Enjoying our best lives.
Mostly doing a lot of work on the computer,
Yes.
but having a lot of fun as well. And today we wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted to give you guys some information about 10 things you should do before moving overseas.
So let's get started.
Number 1, quit your job and find some work you can do online.
We know that's kind of bold to say and also a bold way of thinking, but if you would like to travel for longer than like a week or 2 weeks and make it more than a vacation and more like your life, then you should definitely think about doing online work instead of keeping the same 9 to 5, because you can't really travel for extended periods of time if you don't.
So I teach English online and I caption videos, and that's how I make enough money to support myself here.
And I do digital advertising, so I pretty much work freelance for a lot of different companies online. And we know, like a lot of people say, that it's impossible, but we're doing it. And you can do it too, you just need to find something that suits you. Number 2.
Figure out your health insurance situation. I decided to use a company called I Am Global. My insurance is $140 a month, and that's coverage in the US and overseas. If you want more information, we'll put a link for it down below. But I can't give too much of a review because I've only had it for this month and I haven't had to file a claim. Hopefully I won't need to, so we'll see. Number 3, find a permanent address and change all of your addresses to that place. We're both using our parents' address.
Thanks, Mom.
And also notify all of your banks, all of your credit cards that you're leaving the country.
Actually, if you can, notify them twice, because literally the second day that I was out here, I tried to take cash out of an ATM and my card wouldn't work. I had to call the bank. They said that there was a mistake on where my international location was, so I had to pretty much tell them I was in Colombia again, and then it started working. So just cross your T's, dot your I's. Tip number 4, get rid of your stuff. There are only things you can get them back.
We also have a storage unit for all those special little things that we weren't gonna sell, and that costs $42 a month, so definitely manageable for a year of storing a few little things.
Tip number 5, vaccinations.
Before leaving for this trip, I got hepatitis A, typhoid, meningitis, and tetanus, all on the same day, and I didn't die.
Us being from the United States, not everywhere is like the US. You get a lot of shots when you're a kid. You need them before you go to school, but there are others that you don't necessarily need being in the US, because there are no mosquitoes out there that are gonna be biting you that have like yellow fever. And make sure to get those vaccines early, because they take 7 to 10 days in order to become like actually active in your system.
I definitely didn't do. Number 6, figure out your cell phone situation. We decided to go with Google Fi, which has unlimited data and texting all over the world, so we were able to keep our same phone numbers. Another good option is to bring an unlocked phone with you and just buy a SIM card in every country that you go to. Not as convenient, but probably a little bit cheaper. Number 7, sell your precious car. This was actually really sad for me. I've only had 2 cars in my life. For 16 years I've been driving, and I just sold my second car ever to come on this trip. But the great thing about it is it put some extra money in my bank account, which I'm gonna try and leave off to the side and not use that until we get back, so that we have money set aside to potentially buy another car.
Tip number 8, research the cost of living before actually moving to your desired country. Well, us being from the US, being out here, I think the exchange rate for Colombian currency is what, like 34,000? So
3,400.
3,400?
We're still trying to figure out the math.
Every day it's a struggle.
So we budgeted $500 a month each for an apartment, which is pretty good for us. So $1,000 a month total for the apartment.
And if you haven't seen our apartment or our apartment tour, check out the video link. I think it'll pop up above my head, or maybe above her head. I don't know, you should see the little tab, click on it, and you can watch our apartment tour as well. Yes.
Tip number 9, and probably my favorite tip. Actually, I have a bonus tip at the end, so stay tuned.
Do you?
Tip number 9, credit card hack your way to a free flight. I'm gonna do a whole nother video about credit card hacking because it's become my new favorite hobby this past year. But I only spent $22 on a business class flight to Colombia from Denver using my miles, and I still have so many miles left for the rest of this year.
While I was stuck with the pets in the back in storage. She's eating caviar and filet mignon.
It's true.
And our last tip, which should probably be one of our first tips, is save some money. You should try to have a little stash set aside just in case something happens, like you lose your job or you get hurt or anything like that, just so you have that kind of like comfort pillow to lay on at night.
We're not going to tell you an exact amount to save because I think that really depends on your personality
and the
your
fact
comfort.
that we didn't do it.
Well, let's...
the fact that I didn't do it.
So that just shows that there's different people, different personalities. I feel more comfortable if I have money set aside. Not that I'm planning on using here, but for a big emergency, for moving back home. But I think it just depends on your style and your personality.
Yeah, so get a little nest egg. Something to make you feel safe and help you sleep at night.
Okay, bonus tip number 11. Make sure you make one final trip to Sephora before you leave.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me.
I'm being serious. I've traveled a lot the last 13 years. The first time I went overseas by myself was 13 years ago. I was 19 years old. I've traveled a lot. I've packed for a lot of different trips. And the one tip I have about packing is toiletries are what you should be prioritizing.
Coming from the girl that overpacked, take that with a grain of salt. Definitely with toiletries, yeah, you should probably make sure to stock up on the stuff that you can't necessarily get here and you can only get in the US. But end of the day, just go and have fun. Travel, see the world. Like even if you don't have money and you don't have it all figured out, try to do it. And you will figure it out. You just have to put your mind and your heart into it. So we hope that these tips were helpful. We hope that you can potentially use them in your travels, and we also hope to see you out here in the world. Thanks. See ya. Whoop.